Hello, good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing all good today. Welcome back to another session of the Ladies in Tech Africa Bootcamp, and I hope you're doing all good today. Now, without further ado, let's get started with the lesson we have for today. So, before I commence, I'll just give a quick recap of what we did yesterday. We're just going to look at let's just refresh our minds on what we spoke about in regards to creating engaging content. And today we're going to be looking at creating content for B2B and B2C. Yeah, good evening, everyone. I can see your messages. Good evening. So I will share my screen right away so we can go over what we did yesterday. Let's just refresh our brains, and that would basically set the pace for today's class. Hello, everyone. So, yesterday we spoke about creating engaging social media content. And while we were on this, we spoke about, what an engaging social media content is. We spoke about various formats that your content can be used, basically, and basically formats that you can use to communicate with your audience. We spoke about some of the key characteristics of an engaging content. It should be audience centric. We spoke about creating visually appealing content, ensure it's interactive, it's relevant and timely, in regards to creating content for certain seasons, and it should be emotionally appealing to your audience. It should drive their emotions. Yeah, because most times B2C customers, B2C businesses actually relies on the emotions of their customers in order for them to sell. Now we looked at why is engaging social media content important, because it helps your brand to build relationship, it helps your brand to build its visibility, it helps your brand to drive engagement, and ultimately it also helps your brand to create a community. Because you are creating content that is valuable, that is impacting lives. So you basically get a lot of people who are dedicated towards your content, who appreciate your content. That way, helping your business or helping the brand you are working for to establish a community. Now, we looked at some examples of engaging social media content. We spoke about user generated content, which is a great form of content that has a lot of power because of um, how this content is. A lot of people, before they make any form of purchase online, they check for reviews. If you buy things from online marketplaces like Gigi, Jumia, let's just stick with brands here in Nigeria. If you also buy products from um, other international marketplaces like eBay, Amazon, and whatnot, you know how important reviews are. A lot of people, before they make any buying decision, they need to go check reviews to see what people are saying about that business. So, leveraging user generated content is really important to grow a business. Someone can decide to make a purchase because of a review that they saw on your website, or because of a review that they came across on social media. That alone can be the reason for them to decide to try out your product. Okay, and it's important that your product works, your services work. That's one way you can retain your customers, or you can help businesses that you will be collaborating with retain their customers. We spoke about polls and quizzes, we spoke about videos and live streams, how you can leverage these mediums to create an engaging form of content. We spoke about storytelling posts, how storytelling can be a great way to communicate with people. People have a flair for stories. There's just this thing with stories that people can easily consume, people can easily remember because of how stories are. So it's important that if you can create stories around your content, it's really, really going to help out in terms of engaging your audience. Now, we also looked at steps in creating engaging social media content first you have to define your objective. You have to know your audience is very important. You don't want to create content for an audience that is not interested in what you are sharing. They are not the right fit. It just doesn't correlate actually, because you're going to be serving content to the wrong audience, and or you're going to be serving wrong content to the right audience, or basically, and what that means is that it's going to lead to low engagement, and basically, since you are not speaking to the pain point of your audience, they will not get to engage with it basically. So imagine you are a business here in Nigeria, and all your products, all your ads are targeted towards people in other regions of the world. You see, it doesn't resonate with them. Okay, you want to make sure that your content is tailored towards that people. You want to make references. You make references with places, with things that the people your around your area of business can resonate with. It's very important. So you wouldn't want to be in Nigeria and then you are making instances with a place in New York. People wouldn't really be able to relate to it. So you want to make sure that you are using relevant references. And that's why it's important for you to have a proper grasp of your audience. We looked at content format preferences. We looked at choosing the right platforms for your content, which includes either Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and other channels. We spoke about content planning and strategy. This is something that you should be familiar with already. We spoke about how to set up a content calendar, and for majority of you already have deep insight on how this can be done and how to structure this and present this a in a great way. We spoke about creating a balance with your content, which is 80-20 rule, ensuring that you create more 80% more valuable content, which will help you build trust. Trust is very important when it comes to business and sales. People buy from businesses that they trust. Business customers can pay money to a business and expect them to deliver their products without having any doubts, because they have built trust over the years. I buy things on Jumia and I can confidently pay for a product, and I'm rest assured that it's going to get to me. And if it gets to me, I do not like it, I can initiate a refund. This is something I've been doing over the past few years. So once as a business you are able to establish trust, you make sure that you stay true to your word. It's very, very important basically. So let's forge ahead. We're looking at create visual appealing content. I mean, this is really going to help you top up your content creation game, your content creation in general. If you're working for a brand, or if you want to create engaging content for your business or for a personal brand, you want to make sure that you have cool graphics and photos. Your branding is consistent. I spoke about this, and if it gets to a point where you require infographics, you can incorporate that into your strategy. We spoke about engaging captions. We also spoke about there's storytelling here, hashtags. We spoke about leveraging user-generated content. Yeah, we spoke about this as well. Implement interactive content. You want to get your community to engage with your business. Help them to perceive this human form of interaction with your business. It's very important, so they know they're actually interacting with people who listens and understands them. Now, post consistently. There are a lot of competition there. You want to make sure you post as often as you can to stay relevant in the market. It's important so people do not forget about you. Now, you want to analyze how your content is performing, which is important for you to come up with resolutions and for you to find out generally what is working, what's not, and what needs to be optimized. Um, Now, it's important for you to stay current with trends, and you need to ensure that these trends are in line with your business goal, with your personal brand, and it's in line with the brand, with your companies or the company that you're working for. It's in line with their culture. It's very important. Now you want to also leverage new features when they are released, because early adopters tend to get the most of it. So it's important that you leverage new features, you try it out and see how engaging it can be, and basically get to be one of the first people who would use it for their business and dominate the market. So today we are going to be looking at content for B2B and B2C. Now, what is B2B? B2B simply means business to business. As you can see this diagram here, it depicts a building of an office of an organization, basically, and here B2C, depicts people. Let's move ahead. So, creating content for B2B, for business to business in bracket B2B, and customer to customers marketing requires different approaches, strategies, and execution styles. While both aim to attract, engage, and convert their audiences have different needs, behavior, and decision making processes. Now, it says while your content is basically structured to attract, engage, and convert your audiences, you need to understand that these audiences are different, they have different behaviors and decision making. So we will dive right into all of these differences, making it easy for you to identify these differences, and so that when you get on a project, if you're working for a business that serves other businesses, you already have a perfect understanding on how to structure your content, how to ensure that your content is in tune, towards addressing your audience. Now, let's take a look at B2B audience characteristics. Now, rational decision making. Now, this is business to business. B2B buyers are generally more focused on solving problems, improving efficiencies, or gaining a competitive advantage. Their decisions are based on logic, data, and long term value. Now, because B2B basically means when a business is transacting with another business. So let's say that there's a farm that supplies a poultry. So there's a farm that actually focuses on growing grains. And what they do is to grow and process grains. And once they are done with these grains, they now sell it to another company that gets these grains and convert it into either flour or other finished products. Now that's an example of a B2B business. Now this is a business transacting with another business. Now they are more focused on solving problems, improving efficiencies. Now it will be it's going to be daunting for them if they want to buy from individuals, because working with individual, there could be some level of inconsistency if you want to get drinks from individuals. This month you could get 5, this month you could get 10, but working with a company, they already they have structures and processes in place to ensure they are able to maintain their level of produce. That way, as a business, if you're working with such kind of business, you are assured that you always get raw materials to help you produce your byproduct and stay in business. So these are things that B2B businesses look out for. They look out for competence, they look out for reliability, and they look out for longevity. Yeah, because they are in the game for long term. So they make rational decisions. They make decisions based on data, based on logic, and based on long term value. So these are some things that you should have at the back of your mind if you're working for a B2B brand. You need to gauge your decision to see if it's going to benefit the company long term. So let's say you're working for a company and you need to buy a certain tool. You need to check if this tool would be a long-term benefit for this company. How efficient is this tool? And generally, how this tool will be able to serve this company in the long run and help them improve whatever service that they are delivering. So these are things that you have to look at before probably advising your manager to take decision on certain tools or certain things that you might need to ease up your process. Now they have a longer buying cycle. The B2B buying cycle is often more extended due to multiple stakeholders being involved in the decision-making process. Purchases are typically larger in scale and have more complexity. Now, because of the structure of companies, some companies have a couple of stakeholders, they have directors, board of directors and all. And for certain key decisions, there most times we need to communicate with other board members, which requires longer time for deals to be concluded with B2B brands. There is hierarchy, so certain conversation has to get to the CEO, has to get to the manager for them to review. They could have a lot of things on their plate, and when they are done with this, it takes time. Basically, it has a longer buying cycle. Now there are multiple decision makers. I mentioned this earlier. Purchases usually require input from different departments: finance, procurement, IT, etc. As a result, content needs to appeal to diverse stakeholders with different priorities. So if you have worked in an organization where you have different departments, operations, marketing, finance, and whatnot, you would understand what this means, because before they take any decision, um, the finance team would basically need to put together what they need, in order for the operations team to work. The operations team will have to list out, the things that they need to do and how much it will cost. This can be sent to the finance team for them to run a review on it. Once it's done, it's now sent to the manager to review, and then before it can finally be signed. Now, because of the chain, it tends to take longer period of time, and these are some things that you would expect from transacting with a B2B brand. Focus on expertise and ROI. Now, B2B buyers are looking for content that demonstrates industry knowledge, thought leadership, and a clear return on investment. They prioritize long-term gains and value for their organization. So they focus on expertise and ROI. Now, some of these big companies, they do not have time to basically try out a couple of things. So they require great expertise, and this basically impacts the form of content that they consume. Okay, so it's important you know this. So as a content creator, you want to attract B2B businesses, you need to ensure that you display expertise. So these are things that I would see it's going to attract them to your brand and initiate a conversation, which could certainly or most likely lead to a deal for your organization. Now, let's take a look at B2C audience characteristics. Now, B2C simply means business to customers. Um, Business to customers, that's what it means when you're selling to another customer. That's what it means. Where were we? Yeah, emotional decision making. Now, B2C customers make decisions based more on emotion, desires, or immediate needs. Their purchases are often motivated by personal preferences, status, or convenience. Now, this here are some of, or this is basically giving you insight on how a typical consumer, makes a buying decision. Now, you are a consumer, you have purchased things in one way or the other from businesses. Have you at some point, sat down to think about your buying process? What made you purchase this bag? Did you purchase it because of, you were motivated by personal preferences, or you purchased the product because you want to be among certain people, or you subscribed for a service because you want to get into let's say a club, you want to get into a group of people. Now, most times, B2C customers make decisions based on emotions, okay, based on desires, and um, they only get to involve their rational thoughts to it. Most times, they basically make decisions based on emotions and desires. Now, shorter buying cycle. Now, a shorter buying cycle, the B2C buying process is typically faster with fewer decision makers involved, often just the individual. The purchases are smaller and generally less complex. Now, because it's up to you to make that purchase, the buying process is quite short. So even if as a customer or as a prospective customer, you want to purchase something and for some reason, you are not convinced about your purchase. Now, it's actually easy for a salesman to get into a conversation with you, speak to you, convince you, and get you to take that action. And you just need to decide right at the spot. Well, unlike B2C, you have to speak to a decision maker, you have to schedule a call. So it's a longer process. Now, for B2C, there's a shorter buying cycle. Someone can just approach you as a person and introduce a product to you, and you can just buy it instantly because you just need to decide within yourself. You do not really need to consult a lot of people before making a decision. Individual decision makers. Now, in most cases, the consumer alone makes the purchase decision. Content should resonate with their individual needs, aspiration, and lifestyle. So basically, what this is saying is that like I explained, the customer alone is responsible to come up with a decision and take action. So now it's important that your content should resonate to the needs, the aspiration, and lifestyle of your customer. Now, if you look at businesses like businesses in the tech space that sells gadgets and phones and whatnot, when they have a new phone, you see they run advertisements, they help you to create an experience that you would want, where they tell you about the camera specs, they tell you how this would be a right fit if you are a content creator and all of these things. Now, what are they doing there? Because they know it's left to an individual to make a decision. They need to appeal to the aspiration. The aspiration is they want to ensure that the content they create, video content, is looking really, really clear and it's engaging. So they require a good phone with a good camera to be able to achieve this. And also lifestyle too. So there are certain gadgets or certain products that depict a certain lifestyle. So for people who ride certain vehicles, there is a lifestyle basically attached to it. That's why some people prefer to buy luxury based and vehicle, and they do not really need to consult a lot of people before making that decision. Now, the next one is focus on experience and satisfaction. Now, B2C buyers are often swayed by the experience of the brand and how it makes them feel. They seek value in terms of convenience, quality, and satisfaction. Now, let's take a look at the content types for B2B and B2C. Now, B2B content should focus on delivering value, education, and expertise to decision makers. To decision makers, it should demonstrate how the product or service can solve business challenges, increase efficiency, and boost profitability. Now, we're looking at the types of B2B and B2C form of content. Now, this is basically saying that if you are working for a B2B brand, you want to focus more on delivering value. You want to focus more on delivering education. It could be about your product, it could be about your industry. You want to demonstrate expertise. You want to show the world how your company is able to achieve certain goals depending on the space. So if you're working for an advertising company, what they do is paid ads. You want to create content telling people or educating people about paid ads and how your company has been able to help businesses in certain niches to make a lot of money from paid ads. Now, this is you sharing your expertise. You want to also share education where you are teaching or when you are talking about valuable concepts in your industry and how people can apply this concept in order to get better results. Now, expertise to decision maker. Now, it should demonstrate how the service can solve business challenges. Now, if you have a service, if you have a product, you want to make sure that your content revolves around how your product is a good fit, how it's helping your customers to live their best lives, how it's helping them to solve their problems. Okay, and all of this helps to increase efficiency and boost profitability. Now we're looking at the types of content. So first we have white paper and ebook. The purpose: inbuilt resources providing detailed insights or industry analysis. So for white paper and ebook, it's more like a document, that contains valuable resources about the company, its process, a couple of other things about the company. Um, an example I can basically portray for a white paper. So if you are into blockchain right now, there are quite a couple of projects. There are a lot of projects, there are a lot of tokens and whatnot, and people are interested in investing. Now, for you to invest, it's important that you review this company, you review this project, and for you to get all of this information, you would have to read their white paper. And just as we have a definition here for the purpose is an in-depth resources providing detailed insight or industry analysis. So it's important that you read the white paper to gain insight about, the company, what it does, the value it offers, its products, its future plans. All of these things can be found on the white paper. Now, these are the kind of content that you would likely create, for businesses in the B2B space. Now, for value, demonstrate authority and thought leadership, offering a deep dive into specific problems or trend. Now, you want to make sure that your content demonstrates authority and it offers a deep insight into a problem. What this does is it's helping you to stand out amongst your competition. It's basically helping you to stay relevant, okay? Because people are seeing the things that you're doing, they're seeing it's delivering results. What this means basically is you are on the right path. You can easily reciprocate this for their business or other similar businesses. Give me a minute. Yeah, I'm back. Now, the target audience, we're looking at C-suite executive, decision makers, and department heads. So these are the target audience for this form of content. Now, we're also looking at case studies. Now, case studies are really important for B2B businesses, because case studies helps them to showcase real life experiences. So let's read through the purpose of case studies. Now we have finished looking at what white paper does and what an ebook does. Now let's take a look at what case study does. The purpose is showcase real life examples of how your product or service helped other businesses succeed. Now, as a B2B brand, it's important that you have a lot of case studies. Now, it also serves as your portfolio. So when you are approaching other brands that are a right fit for your business to collaborate with, you can share your case studies. If you have relevant case studies that applies to their industry, it's actually great. You can share that with them. And what this does is it actually helps your brand demonstrate expertise in that space. So having Having case studies is really important. And if you're working for a B2B brand, be prepared that you create case studies. Case studies basically contains a summary of what your company did for its clients. It should basically contain the objectives, how your process, how you're able to move from point A to point B, your result as well. So it's a detailed overview of past projects that you have done. Now, for value, provides credibility by showing results, ROI, and business outcomes. Now, it's important that your case studies shows results. People want to see results. If I pay you this, what am I going to get? Which, what am I going to benefit from your service? You want to show them the results you have attained for what that business is and clear steps and processes on how you can also achieve this result for their business. Now, for case studies, the target audience, it's basically targeted to decision makers looking for proof of effectiveness before committing to purchase. Now, as a as a digital marketer, at times I approach businesses and tell them, okay, I can help you achieve this form of results. I come to them with case studies. I come to them with a clear process on how I intend to achieve this result. Now, all of these things helps to establish trust. It helps to um, make the path a lot more easier for you to close that deal because you have case studies, you have numbers to show, you have a process that you have tested and has worked. Now, because you have all of these things, it's now easier for you to basically close deals. So if you are working for a B2B business, you need to have insights on how to create great case studies that will be appealing, that has the right data, that has results to help your company close more deals. Now, webinars and live the purpose, it offers educational content and product demonstration. The value highlights expertise and provide valuable insights while showcasing the practical benefits of your product. Now, webinars and live demos. There are businesses that hold webinars because they want to unveil a new feature on their software. So let me make an example. So this is a wave of AI where we have a lot of businesses integrating AI into their system and all. I can tell you that are there are businesses that held webinars. You know, the webinar basically is talking about their new AI feature, trying to inform their audience about new features they have added. And for live demos basically helps you to gain deep insight into a software. So let's say I want to send out emails, I'm looking for a system that will help me achieve that. There are quite a couple of email marketing tools in the market, and for some companies they offer demo. Now, what a demo is, it actually helps you to gain first-hand experience of the product that you want to buy. You get to see it in motion. You get to see how the tool works. If you want to add your contacts into the tool, if you want to send out an email, if you want to make changes, you want to personalize it, a demo gives you all of this information so you can watch it beforehand to help you make that buying decision. For target audience, your potential clients, technical buyers, or decision makers needing detailed information. Now, industry reports and research papers. Now, for purpose, provide detailed market insight for proprietary research. For value, it supports the decision-making processes by supplying data-backed insights. We are talking about industry reports. Now, if you are working for a B2B business, there are in a certain industry, that could be in the health industry, that could be in the marketing industry, that could be in the fashion industry, okay? And most times, during the end of the month, they present reports. As a content writer, you will be tasked to create this report. So it's important that you know what this report should contain, have your table of contents, the things that you write, and ensure that there is purpose. Now, The purpose is to provide detailed market insights and proprietary research. So you want to ensure that your report contains insights that you have gathered from your research. Value support the decision-making processes by supplying data-backed insights. So if you are running a survey about, which is the best tool, you are comparing both tools, you should be able to come out with results and data. Okay, you should be able to come out with result and data. Now, having results and data is important because it supports your motion, it supports your your thesis basically. So it's important that this is available. Now for target audience, for industry report and research, your target audience should be decision makers because these are people that basically takes decision in an organization. Analysts and thought leaders looking for trends and data to inform their decisions. Email newsletter. Purpose is to share industry news, expert opinions, or product updates regularly. Now, this is also a type of B2B content. Now, the value is to nurture leads and continuous value and build trust over time. So, what does this mean? You can use emails and newsletter to communicate to B2B brands, that you are in contact with. You share value about your product, how it has helped businesses like theirs in a similar market to attain certain results. Now, for target audience, leads and prospects in the consideration and or awareness stage. Now, looking at email newsletters, why is it directed to audience that are still in the consideration stage? Now, there are different stages to sales. Okay, someone needs to be aware that they have a problem. They need to build interest. There is desire before the action. It's called AIDA, AIDA. So it just shows you the process that a lead has to follow, or it shows you their journey rather towards their decision, towards making a decision rather. So let's take a look at the B2C content type. Now, the B2C content type, we have B2C content is focused on creating an emotional connection with consumers, offering entertainment, inspiration, or immediate solution to their needs. Now, we'll go over that again. It says B2C content is focused on creating an emotional connection with customers, offering entertainment, inspiration, or immediate solution to their needs. Now, let's take a look at the options we have there. Now, we'll be looking at social media posts. Now, what are the kind of content that you should be creating for B2B? We're looking at social media posts. The purpose is a quick, engaging content that captures attention and drives engagement. Now, basically, what's the value of this kind of content? It helps you to foster brand loyalty, create conversation, and humanize the brand. Now, this is something you should be familiar with, using social media daily, how you are able to use your social media account and how you see videos, how you see information from other brands, and how it influences your buying decision. Now, for target audience for social media, you want to look at individuals looking for content that resonates with their interests or lifestyle on Instagram, TikTok, and other social media channels. My lens, you can see my screen. Okay, okay, I'll share once more. Uh, yeah, we were talking about target audience, individuals looking for content that resonates with their interests or lifestyle. Example, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and other relevant social media websites. Product reviews and testimonials. Now, this is also a big one. Um, the purpose of this is to build trust by positive feedback, showcasing positive feedback from real customers. Now, this is the kind of content that you should be sharing. I spoke about this. Value. Wow, what is the value of this kind of content? It basically provides social proof which can influence purchasing decision. Now, while we were at the beginning of this lesson, I spoke about how important reviews and testimonials are user generated content. It has a lot of value. So if you can create that for your business, or if you're working for a company, if you can find how you can create you can basically create social proof. It does a lot. Now it's even a lot more better if you can get people to create videos and talk about their success story. It goes a long way. it, it actually goes a long way in impacting your conversion. Now, promotional videos and ads. Now, these are also a form of content that you should be sharing as a B2C brand. Um, you want to ensure that you have ads that are running on platforms to help you to increase your awareness basically. Now, what's the purpose of this form of content? Visually showcase products or services with a strong emotional and entertaining appeal. Now, I believe you have watched certain advertisement and you are marveled on, the creativity that went into play for that ad to be created and shared across. Now, this is the power of this form of content. So, as a content creator, you have a lot of work to do in terms of um, structuring the right form of script for video content or video ads. Now, you can basically achieve this when you have deep insights on your prospective customer. Okay, you have deep insight on their pain points. With all of these things, it will help you narrow down the level of work that you need to do in order to create the right script and the right video for your promotion, which will basically aid that business or your brand to lock in a lot of deals. Now, what's the value of this form of content? It actually captures attention and inspire desire for products, often with a call to action. For target audience, this is directed to consumers in the awareness and consideration stage, looking to looking for products that meet their needs. Now, for blog posts, this is also a form of content that is required from a B2C form of business. Now, what's the purpose of this? To provide valuable and entertaining content such as tips, lifestyle advice, and how-to guides. Now, what's the value of this? To attract traffic, build a brand connection, and inspire engagement. For target audience, you want to look at individual searching for specific answers, entertainment, or solutions. Now, have you used the internet and you are searching for something, and after initiating a search, it takes you to a blog, to a website. Now, this is why as a B2C business, having a blog is important because you can use that medium to educate your prospective customers, get them to your website and get them to take certain action. And one of the reasons why they will actually trust you is because you have given them a lot of value, you have helped them to answer 9 questions which made them to initiate a search on the search engine. Now let's look at the tune and style for B2B versus B2C. Now, for the B2B, their tone and style, they sound more professional and formal because they are working with other businesses. Now, the tune is typically more formal and professional with a focus on industry jargons and technical language relevant to the business. So, if you as a content writer, you are creating business, you are creating content rather to another business. Now, it's safe for you to use industry words and jargons that are familiar within the industry to communicate. It just shows that you are also in the space. Now, data driven, the content should often be backed by data, statistics, and case studies to provide a logical argument for why a product or service is needed. For B2B, you want to ensure that you have data to portray what you are talking about. So generally, it should be data driven. Value orientation, B2B content is focused on highlighting the long-term value and ROI that the product or service offers to a business. So that's something that your content should actually contain. It should highlight how your business can help its customers, which is other businesses, on the long run, and how it can help them to either, if it's to save money and to increase their conversion. That's very important. It's a lot of value, and most companies would want to take advantage of it. Now, B2C tune, it's casual and relatable. This tune is more casual and relatable, aiming to connect emotionally with the audience. Humor, storytelling, and informal language are commonly used. Now, if you are communicating with if you are a B2C brand and basically you are communicating with individuals, you want to ensure that your content is casual, relatable, your audience can relate to your content, okay, which makes it easier for them to engage with your content. Emotion driven. Now, I made mention of how people make buying decisions and they do that based on emotions. Come in, I need to fix something at my end. So I'm back, guys. Back to where we were. Now, for B2C, we're looking at their tone and style. We're on the last item here. Aspirational and entertaining. Content appeals to lifestyle, aspiration, convenience, and instant gratification. Now, if you are serving B2C customers, you want to make sure that your content appeals to their lifestyle. Now, if you are a fashion brand, yeah, you want to ensure that your content revolves around what is trending. If you realize that certain kind of outfit is trending and it appeals to your customers, you want to make sure that you share content around that form of around that form of fashion, because what it does is it's going to help you appeal to people who want to jump on that trend, who wants to be a part of that lifestyle, and who basically wants to feel among, and which is very good for business because you're going to get more sales because you are staying relevant with your form of content. Now, let's take a look at the content distribution channel for B2B and B2C. Up next, B2C distribution channels. Now we're looking at LinkedIn, email marketing, industry conferences and webinars, niche industry forums, or publications. Now let's take a look at LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the most popular platform for B2B professionals, ideal for sharing thought leadership content, case studies, and industry insights. So if as a business you work with B2B brands a lot, you want to leverage LinkedIn for for customer acquisition, and also for brand awareness. Okay, because LinkedIn, if you're not on LinkedIn, please do get an account on LinkedIn because you will require an account in order to um, interact with businesses, connect with other professionals on the network, and also be exposed to opportunities on the space. So it's important that you have a LinkedIn account. Yeah, because most of the times you'll be working with businesses and you mostly find them on LinkedIn, or you can easily get across to them on LinkedIn. And on LinkedIn, you can find, the account of either the CEO, the chief marketing expert, whatnot. You can easily reach out and connect with them. You pitch about your expertise to them, and over time you get considered for that role. Now, email marketing. Email campaigns target business executives or decision makers are highly effective. So let me read that again. Email campaigns targeting business executive or decision makers are highly effective for B2B, especially with segmented, personalized content. Now, I do email marketing a lot, and I can tell you for one that this is true. As for a lot of professionals, they are glued to their business inbox. Okay, so if you send them emails, they are quick to respond, and this is the best way to establish communication with them. In fact, you can also use this medium to get jobs. So, let's say you are making research about the company you saw online, and you realize that their content strategy is not organized. Okay, you as a content marketer, you can with LinkedIn find out who are the leaders in this organization and pitch about your experience to them. Tell them what you do, how you have helped other businesses create content calendars, and how it has impacted their growth as a business. Show them or visually present to them how you manage content, and how basically this process can help them up their game. And with that, you most likely get the chance to interact with an executive in that company and get considered for that role. So now it's also a channel that you can use to explore job opportunities. So email marketing is something to look at if you are in the B2B space. Industry conferences and webinars. B2B content can be shared through webinars, live demos, and in-person events to build relationship and educate potential clients. Now for B2B, they attend conferences a lot. Why? Because they get to connect with other businesses as well on that conference. And this form of content can help them make new customers because they are obviously communicating with other businesses who have needs, who have things they want to achieve. So, getting into this form of environment, makes it easy for a B2B business to share insights about their services and how they can help their clients in certain industries to achieve certain goals. So we'll be going for a break by 8 p.m. It's almost 8 p.m., just a minute to 8. And please use that time to take your attendance. And when we come back, we will look at the remaining part of this lesson. It's a very short lesson. Basically, it's not that long. So once we're done, then we can look questions. If you have any questions, you can bring them up. So we'll be ending at 37, which is the conclusion here. So if you have any question, you can bring them up, and I will be here to provide answers to your questions. Oh, yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome back from the break. I hope you have taken your attendance. I hope you have done that. So, great. That's great. That's great. So, I will pick up right where I left off. Share my screen. So, yeah, we spoke about niche industry forum for publication. Sharing articles or reports in specialized industry publications or forums can increase brand authority. Now, this is still for B2B. Okay, so it talks about sharing articles in certain groups and forums, which helps to, increase a business authority in that space. Now, let's take a look at B2C distribution. How can B2C content be distributed via social media? We already know about this. Um, via social media, we look at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. So it's ideal for visually appealing, entertaining content that drives high engagement. These platforms are also great for ads and influencer collaboration. This is something you are aware of. Influencers and ambassadors. Partnering with influencers helps to reach a broader consumer base and build trust through social proof. Now, what this means is that it's a form of distributing content. So if you're working for a brand, for a B2C brand, you can leverage influencers in that space. So if you are in the fashion industry, you can identify fashion influencers and use them to promote your product. Email campaigns too, you can use email campaigns for B2C. So if you have purchased products from some of these e-commerce platforms, they have your emails, and at times they send you marketing emails, they send you emails on products that you might be interested in. Now, that's how they use emails to reach out to new customers. YouTube and video platform. Video content including tutorials, product launches, and behind the scene content is ideal for B2C audiences. Now, this is self explanatory where you leverage video content, you create tutorials, and you can also initiate product launches on YouTube and other platforms, basically to engage your customers. And for YouTube, you can easily provide a medium where your customers can easily gain access to your content. Now, key metrics and KPIs for B2B versus B2C. Now, before someone asks me what is KPI, we have spoken about this countless times. So I believe by now you already know what is KPI. Anyone who asks me what is KPI, I will assume that you have not been following the lessons from inception. So let's forge ahead. B2B metrics. So what are the metrics that we need to look out for? when dealing with B2B brands. We'll be looking at lead generation, where we are tracking how many qualified leads are generated from our content, e.g., downloads of white paper or other case studies. So basically, white paper is a document the company creates. Basically, this document contains what a company does. It contains the products they offer. It contains their problem proposition. It contains literally everything that you need to know about the company. So that's what a white paper is. So most companies have their white paper out there. That way, if you do not have time to look through their website, once you read the white paper, you know their purpose, you know their aim, you know how they operate. Basically, they are ensuring that their operation is transparent, so you as a customer would know that you are dealing with a trustworthy business. Engagement with long form content, measuring engagement with educational content like webinars, ebook, or research reports. Now, these are metrics that you need to check to know how it is performing. Okay, to see if how many downloads you received on your ebook, how many people downloaded your research report. Basically, these are key performance indicators that can help you track the effectiveness of your campaign. Now, sales pipeline contribution, understanding how content contributes to progressing leads through your sales funnel. Now, sales pipeline, it's basically a way of streamlining your sales process. Okay, now there are tools that would help you to see where certain leads are in your sales pipeline. Pipeline simply means the steps that it's required for you as a business to convert certain customers or certain prospects into customers. Now, I'm going to give you a simple example. I'll try to speak slowly so you can get the concept. And I also recommend that you carry out research about what the sales pipeline is, because I am so sure that after this session, I'll get people who will ask me what is a sales pipeline. So let me search so we can look at a visual representation of what the sales pipeline looks like. Because I am so sure I'm going to receive questions on what is a sales pipeline. Now let's take a look at image. Now, this is what a sales pipeline looks like. We're basically showing you the stages that a lead would have to move through before they become a customer. So this is the prospecting stage. So let's say as a business, you sell to a B2B company, okay? And at the point where you are running ads, it's either you are sending cold emails or you are leveraging social media ads. You are at this point in your sales pipeline, which is called prospecting. Now, when a lead gets into your pipeline, so let's say you have an ebook and it's out there on the internet for free. Anyone who downloads this ebook will have to share their email. Now, when they share their email, it gets to this point, which is qualification. We're still going to look at another example, so you can, get to understand, you can get in-depth understanding on this. Now, for qualification, here you now have different metrics that you can use to qualify them. So, for most businesses, especially B2B, they want to book a call with their prospects so they can speak to them about the service that they are offering, show them around their process, and get them to understand what they will be receiving if they decide to sign up with them as a client. Now, meeting or demo. Now, once you have qualified this lead, they answer the certain question, they fill out a certain form, and you know that this prospect is a potential client. Now you want to book a meeting. Now, what this is showing you is just showing you the stages that is required for you to make a sale. Now, this is different across all businesses, mind you. Now, after you had a demo call with this client, you had a conversation, you shared insight about your service, your process, and everything that you do. Now, your clients would likely take a decision at that point, or they might tell you that they need time to review it with their partners also. Once this client responds to you, you can now move them to decision, where you are anticipating their decision. And when they finally become a sale, you can now move them to closing. What this means is that you have successfully closed this sale. Now that's what that means. Now let's take a look at these 6 stages of a sales pipeline. Uh, Now 6 stages of the sales pipeline. This is not so clear, but I'll see if I can use this illustration. Now, great. Now this is what a sales pipeline looks like. This is what a sales pipeline looks like. Let this load so it becomes really clear. Now, if you remember how Trello looks, how we are able to move boards from one section to another, that's how a sales pipeline looks like on CRM. I mentioned CRM simply means customer relationship management, are tools that can help you manage your contacts. This is taking a lot of time to load. I actually want to show you this. Can't tell. Now, let me download this image. Now, this is what a typical sales pipeline looks like. Now, this is what a sales pipeline looks like. Basically, this is what it looks like. Now, if you look closely here, you see source. Now, this is basically showing you how this lead got into your system. Now, applied. Now, this is basically this sales pipeline is structured based on the sales process of this business. Now, we have applied, we have phone interview, we have manager interview, and hired. Now, this I can tell you that this is a pipeline for a recruiting agency. Basically, there are so on this column, it's actually showing you how applicants applied for the job. Okay, now this is applied. Now it's showing you, the people who actually applied. Now this is showing you the source, how people applied for this position, and it's now showing you those who have completed the application. Basically, phone interview. So if they have communicated with someone on the phone, they are going to pull that person this this column on the pipeline. Now, if you remember on Trello, we are able to move cards from one column to another. It's the same thing. Now, for manager interview, now if the prospect has communicated with the manager, you can move that prospect or that um, applicant from this point on the sales pipeline to this point. And when they are hired, you can now move them to this point. Now, what a sales pipeline does, it helps you to streamline any process that you are doing. So if it's for sales, you can see people who got into your sales funnel, people who you have contacted, what are their response, if they have made a purchase, all of these things are things you can track. And your sales pipeline gives you an environment where you can have a proper glance at what you're doing. So I hope this is understood. And please, you can also make more research, read about what a sales pipeline is and how it works. I'm sharing my screen, not to worry. I had to ensure that I'm sharing the right um, thing, actually. Now, I spoke about sales pipeline contribution. Now, it says understanding how content contributes to the progressing leads through the sales funnel. I believe, based on what I just explained, you now understand why we have this here. It says sales pipeline contribution. Basically, what you are doing here, you are now understanding how your content strategy contributes to aiding you move leads from one column in your sales circle to another column. ROI and cost per lead, tracking the efficiency and profitability of content marketing effort. ROI means return on investment. Cost per lead basically means how much it is costing your business to acquire a single customer. Now, B2C metrics, we're looking at engagement like likes, shares, comments, measuring the above engagement on social platforms and how much the audience is interacting with the content. Now, for conversion rates, we are tracking how many visitors or readers of the content convert to customers. Now, these are metrics that you want to track from your entire content strategy. Website traffic, you monitor how the content drives traffic to the website and what pages visitors engage with. For customer retention, you understand how content contributes to keeping existing customers engaged and loyal to the brand. Now, these are metrics that you should track, okay? After serving your content to your audience, it's important that you track this content. You get to track all of these KPIs to see how it is impacting the growth of it could be your business, it could be for that of a client, and generally businesses. Now, in conclusion, the strategies for creating and distributing content for B2C and for B2B and B2C audiences differ significantly due to the nature of their target audiences, buying processes, and the types of value each audience seeks. Now, B2B content is often more formal, like I said, educational and data driven, targeting decision makers who seek long term value and ROI. Now, for B2C content, on the other hand, it is more emotional, engaging, and visually stimulating, aiming at capturing individual consumer attention and driving quick purchasing decision. Now, if you have watched ads from companies like Indomie, you have watched ads from companies like that sell fruit juice, yogurt Hollandia, you would see how they create emotional based kind of content where you see parents buying something for their kids and how it makes their kids feel. Well, what is actually telling you that if you buy that product for your kids as well, it's going to help them feel the same way. Now they are using storytelling to speak to your emotions. Now, understanding the differences in content creation, tune, distribution, and metrics is essential for creating successful campaigns that resonate with the intended audience. At this point, we have come to the end of this particular topic. We're going to continue on Thursday where we will be looking at content for specific industries. We want to dive into certain industries and see what kind of content um, that can be used for businesses and how this content influences their marketing. Well, so at the moment we're done with today's lesson. Thank you guys for your time. So you can start sending in your questions. Let me know your concerns. If you have any questions, please bring them up so I can attend to them. Yeah, you're welcome. So if you have any question, please let them roll in. Yeah, you're welcome. You are welcome. Well, looking at the topic that we are talking about, it's something from the previous classes that we've had. It's a lot more easier for all of these things to start to make sense. From the previous lessons that we have done, the experiences that you have been able to pick up on the way, it should make all of these concepts a lot more easier for you to understand and basically start to make sense. Yeah, you're welcome. Which is more lucrative for a freelancer, B2B or B2C? B2B and B2C, B2, it basically depends, okay? It basically depends on, which company you want to work for. Okay, B2B company, there are some huge B2B companies and there are some huge B2C companies, okay? It just depends on, what you want for yourself. Now, we can look at brands like Apple is a B2C company. Now, that's a very, very huge company. There are a lot of people who want to work for these companies. So it basically depends on you. As a content creator and copywriter, do I really need to go to the writing part of it? Can I stick to video content only? One of the things I advise people in this space is you should try to be versatile as much as you can, because one thing links to another. Now, that's one of the things that is going to keep you relevant in this space. One thing links to another. So it's important that you learn how to create written based content, and also how to write um, scripts for video based content. So I really encourage that. So they are actually related. So I would encourage that you learn them both. Yes, of course, as a content creator, as a content writer, you can provide services for both B2B and B2C. Of course, you can. Now, that's why we are going through this process. You know what's important, you know how to structure your content for B2B. You want to ensure that it is formal. You, as much as you can, you leverage jargons in the space and whatnot. So, with this, you can basically tailor your content into to fit any of these businesses. Someone is asking, can an individual control all social media accounts, including LinkedIn, if the person is running a B2B or B2C business? Now, it can be really overwhelming, but then there are tools that you can use to streamline this process. There are some social media tools that can help you manage these accounts a lot more easier, because it might seem easy, but it requires a lot of work for you to post on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and all of these social media accounts. So what most people do is they use a social media management tool, connect all these accounts to it, and whenever they share a post, it just goes out to all of these platforms. It makes it easy for you to manage. For a few of these tools, it actually requires you to pay before you use it, but they offer free plans. Example of B2B business. I should not be answering this seriously, because I explained this in depthly. Now, B2B business, like I said, I'll go over this once more. It's when a business transacts basically with another business. Now, I'm going to give you a simple example. I made an example earlier. Please watch this video once more, because it helps you to retain what you are learning. So, an example that I would give is a solar company. A company that helps businesses install solar. They can have both B2B and B2C clients. Now, B2B clients would be when they are helping another business like a bank to install solar systems. It means they are working with another business, not an individual. And if you have been listening keenly to this lesson, you would remember I spoke about the decision process. I spoke about board of directors. I mean, these are the things that distinguishes a business which is seen as an entity from an individual. Well, the sales pipeline looks like Trello. Well, basically, it's in that order. Okay, so basically, what a sales pipeline does generally, it just helps you to manage your sales process. Now, there are people, if you understand, basically how to use a sales pipeline, you can build one on Trello. You just need to customize it to fit your sales process and move. But now the thing with Trello is you create bots, but on an actual CRM, this feeds allows you to enter the information of contact. Now it's really, really granular. You can add the estimated value that of that prospect. It could be 500,000 naira, it could be a million naira. All of these things would be on your sales pipeline. So when you see, you can have an overview that, okay, if I have, so let's say my product or my service cost a million naira to do actually deliver, and I have 10 prospects on my pipeline. Ultimately, I already have an idea that I have a potential to close. Let's say if I am closing about 80%, I'll be looking at making 8 million for my sales pipeline. Now, what do I need to do? I can now engage my team, my sales team. Okay, we have a lot of leads. What are we going to do to close these leads within this month? So now for Trello, you have bots where you manage tasks, but on an actual sales pipeline, what you have is the information about your lead. If there are previous conversations you've had with that lead, all of this information is there. So anyone who comes in can pick up and continue. That's what I'm explaining, sales pipeline. So you mentioned email marketing as an aspect of content writing. Is it possible to focus solely on that niche? Yeah, it is possible. It's your choice. Um, I don't know if I should be saying this. I do email marketing. Actually, it's one of the niches I focus on, and I'm actually big on it as well. But that doesn't mean I do not have experience on other aspects of marketing. I do have in-depth experience. I'm just mentioning you. There are a lot of digital marketing skills. It's important you have an idea on all of these skills, and it's also important that that you focus on one. Yeah, I have explained the sales pipeline once more. How can we call wholesaler vendors selling to retailers B2B? Yeah, of course, you can call wholesalers selling to retailers B2B, because basically that's a business selling to another business. Since the person you are selling to is not the consumer, well, we can't really use that analogy, okay? No, but then since that person is also selling that as well, yeah, we can, in a way, it's actually intertwined. Yeah, it's intertwined. We can actually call that a B2B. In a way, we can. An example of a social media management tool, I can't really tell you a lot at the top of my head. I know there is Later, Later, there is Hootsuite, but when you try and initiate a Google search, you will see a ton of social media management tools. Look at the reviews, and with that, I believe you get all the help that you need. And I spoke something about finding information by yourself. Google is a great tool that has a lot of answers. You're just a search away from the response that you desire. So at any point you need certain answers. You understand how search engine works in terms of prioritizing content. I spoke about that. Um, yeah, I spoke about that. So it's important that you are able to carry out research by yourself. You are able to carry out research by yourself. Can you recommend some tools that one uses to streamline social media? Yeah, I just mentioned there's a tool called Later, Later. There's Hootsuite. There are a couple of others. I can't remember all of them at the top of my head. So just head over to Google social media marketing tools. You will see a lot of them with reviews. Pricing, you can look through and make a decision. Yeah, telecommunication companies to consumer is B2C. You basically understand the concept so you can apply it everywhere. What software can I use to create a sales pipeline? Now, because I mentioned this, now you can create a sales pipeline from CRMs. CRMs, well, there are a lot of CRMs. CRMs stands for Customer Relationship Management. Now, you can use a tool like HubSpot to create a sales pipeline. You can use a tool like Go High Level, but it's a paid tool. You can use a tool like um, Pipedrive too to create a sales pipeline, basically. So you can research about those tools. Yep, yep, yep. So please, your questions can start rolling in. Questions can start rolling in. Can start rolling in. I'm not seeing any questions here. Okay, thank you, Lillian, for that. Bofa, co-schedules, sendable, sprout, later, okay, like I said, Zoho, social, Hootsuite. Thank you, Lillian. So that's how you get information. You search, you're going to see a lot of options. You're going to see a lot of these tools, and you can look through the results, get to read the reviews, and settle on one to use. So now, basically, um, all of now, if you really want to get into this, I would um, suggest that you look at these tools and get familiar with these tools because basically we have spoken about managing content strategies and all. You would need this tool if you want to help a business to manage their content strategy. In fact, you're going to come up as being a professional if you are able to recommend certain tools that will aid businesses to ease their marketing activities and processes. Recommend the best email. Now, there are a ton of email marketing tools in the market. I know this because I have used a number of them. Now, there are email marketing tools for cold emailing, for a cold email. So we have tools like Instantly, we have tools like Smart Lead, Lemlist, and a couple of others. And there are email marketing tools for newsletters and conversation with your audience. We have tools like Namecheap. We have tools like MailJet and a couple of others. Now there are a lot of email marketing tools out there. Basically, the help you to send emails. And if you own an e-commerce brand, a lot of e-commerce brands they use Klaviyo to manage their email marketing campaign. How can you create user-generated content for B2B and B2C simultaneously? Uh, well, basically, what you need to do is to get your audience to try out your product. That's basically what you need to do. Once they try out your product, they give an honest review, you capture it on video, and you can use that to promote your business. How can you use sales pipeline to track purchasing process of buyers? Now that's a different topic entirely. That's a different topic entirely. I just thought it's important for you to, know about these things. If you want to learn more about this, you can carry on. You can carry out some personal research about this. Actually, yeah. So, but then once you get into this tool, all of these things are there. You can just play around with the features, and all of these things basically starts to make sense. More questions, more questions. Waiting for your questions. Please let them come in. Questions. If there are no questions, I will end the class. Not seeing any questions. I'm not seeing any questions, and I can say for sure I have attended to all the questions that were raised. Okay. If there are no questions, I will be ending the lesson for today. And we'll see you on Thursday where we're going to wrap up this session. We'll see you on Thursday where we're going to wrap up the lesson for this week. So now I'm not seeing any question. You're welcome, guys. Thank you very much for your time as well. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, guys. See you on Thursday when we're going to wrap up this session. Do take care and have a wonderful night's rest.